What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, once again. So, this news, we got something seriously breaking now from last week for the unwashed, the great unwashed masses craving their titillation. No doubt about it. Here we go. Is Turkelence put this out? The CANELO Carrot Top Alvarez versus Terence Crawford prelims announcement. I'm not gonna lie, yeah, it's a bit moody to tell the truth. It's a bit stinky. Yeah, here we go. So you got Canelo Crawford at the top, banging, and then you got Bochuk versus Brandon Adams. Now I like Bochuk. What's Bochuk at? Bochuk's 154. Why ain't they got Mutazaliev out there? Turkey said in his interview on the Boxing Voice, he said, people are scary of Mutazaliev. That's what you got to bag for. You tell these bums, yeah, I don't know if Bochuk was ducking in particular, to be fair to him, but you tell these bums, listen man, there's no Brandon Adams too, man. You fight him Mutazaliev, or you can go back to the York Hall and you can fight on there, right? I don't know the situation, yeah? Oh, AB, you're supposed to be a reporter. I couldn't give a about looking into the facts. Tell you, man, the truth, yeah? That's the truth. When my money starts rolling in and I get paid to do a full-time job, that's when I'll start reading shit. But for these bare bums in the shower or such, who ain't got no clout and ain't putting no coin in my pocket like Bochuk, he can do his own research. I don't know why Brandon Adams 2 is happening. Is it a mandatory? Is it not? I couldn't give a I'm not interested in seeing. I'm not interested in streaming. Although it's on Netflix, so I will pay for that one. Effectively, but still, I'm not interested in streaming. Yeah, I'm not interested in finding a moody stream for Bochuk versus Brandon Adams 2. I've never heard of him at 154, and it's a 10-rounder. That tells you all you need to know. So Bochuk, it can't be a mandatory because sorry, I remember now. I thought Virgil Ortiz got punched up by Bochuk. To be fair, ends of the day, I thought he got weighed in, but still, Bochuk. He looks good, yeah? He ain't got a belt, so why is he at the top with Brandon Adams? Get him in there with Mutazaliev right now, yeah? You say, listen, Bochuk, you want big shmoney? You fight Mutazaliev in a 12-rounder. So you got the co-main of this situation is Bochuk versus Brandon Adams. I've never heard of him. I've barely heard of Bochuk, to be fair. If we're truly honest, it's not a co-main. I'd rather them have... Turkey could have told Atalma, this is obviously stretching it, but Turkey could have told Atalma, you're back in there in 3 weeks. You just did a round, man. Stay hot, have a few days off, back in the gym Wednesday. You can roll like that. Mike Tyson was fighting every month, so don't play with me. That would have been a great opportunity to introduce Atalma. I'm not saying you get Muhammad I am proper hard in there with him in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever it was at that point in time, last week. I'm not saying you do that, but you get, for example, you could have drafted in the 2024 power bottom of the year. Otto Wallin, for example, he can't punch. He's got no ambition. Just get him in there, for example, right? A filler fight. A bum of the month campaign. Mike Tyson did that. Yeah? And until Atalma starts going, until we start seeing him having at least one challenging round, he's got no reason not to be out every month. That's my base case, sorry. And it would have been a great opportunity. They should have probably done, in my opinion, they should have done the Dillian White fight at the end of July and then had Atalma introduced to the American market. What better way? There's no bigger fight in the US outside of Fake the Cake Paul and Tank Davis, which may or may not happen, but as far as serious boxing goes, there's no bigger fight in the US that's likely to come in the next 5 years. Call me a liar. What bigger fight you got than Crawford versus Canelo? So why not get Atalma on there if you're going to put Bochuk and Adams in a 10-rounder at the top of it anyway? Yeah? No, I don't know. Turkey's plan was, listen man, I respect all these guys on this card, okay? I think some of these man, they want a spot on the card. They went to a sparring place and Turkey put them on. I respect that, but come on man. Yeah? You put their man on at 3 p.m. That's what you do. You make the card bigger if you're going to do that. You don't need these bare bums like that, man. No one's heard of. High up the card. They've earned their shot. Put him on at 7 in the morning. The day before type shit, right? That's what you do. That's what you do, man. For this type of card. Especially when even taking a Talma out of it. Think about February, yeah? Parker hasn't fought. Why weren't he booked on here? Maximus Agitius Caballerius, he fought in February. That's 6 months. They should be fighting now. These two cats don't even have a date booked. So it's not like, oh, Bacoli. Where's Idi Amin nephew at, man? Get Idi Amin in here right now. Get his big bulbous, no discipline having nephew in here. Yeah, I don't particularly want to see him again, but why not? If you're going to put these type cats on here. Anyway, 10 rounders as the co-main. But Turkey's plan was, okay, it's a massive card, so I want to introduce the masses to some new names. Listen, man, new names, in my opinion, they can do the small hall shows until they show something. Because most of them will be bums. That's just how life goes. Right, most of them will be bums. Look at Johnny Fisher, for example. Most of them will be like that. Not as pumped up, but ultimately something will go wrong and it will turn out they're no good. That's the truth. They don't necessarily need... You have to kind of earn your way on there. Again, Turkey could have put them on... I've got no problem. I think it's quite a smart and a fair idea. Turkey should do. On every one of his cards, he should have 2 filler fights at the bottom at 4 PM and 5 PM, for example. And he should promote it, saying, listen, guys, if you're an up-and-coming guy who doesn't have a big promoter, from now on, every card, we've got 2 spots, which is 4 fighters. And I'm going to give everyone 4 fighters per card. If there's 10 cards a year, that's 40 people get a shot out of nowhere. Yeah, I'm guaranteeing 40 people opportunities per year from non-branded promoters. So no Eddie Hearn fighters, no Frank Warren fighters, etc., etc. Proper small hall type cats. That's what you should do, man. You don't need to do it for the whole card, man. Look at these cats. Look at it. Look. So you got Bochuk versus Adams 2. Listen, I've never told you I'm a hardcore, to be fair. Yeah, never told you that. But I don't know. I've never heard of Brandon Adams. That's the truth. Yeah. I've never heard of him a day in my life. I've never heard of him. Not even half a day in my life. Never heard of it. I couldn't tell you. Honestly, I can't even put a face to the name. The next fight, after that 10-rounder, you've got Ivan DiCicco versus Jermaine Franklin in a 10-rounder. Now, I've heard of Jermaine Franklin. Again, if they was wheeling Jermaine Franklin out, they could have just put Moses Atama in there on late notice. Jermaine Franklin ain't going to say no to a free $2 million. Yeah? Who here wouldn't watch Jermaine Franklin versus Moses Atama on the prelims of September 13th? We're all watching that. Okay? No one's watching. I'm not going to... Listen. Oh, maybe you're not hardcore. I couldn't give a fuck. I'm not wasting my time. I will not be watching. I'll tell you right now for free. I will not be watching Ivan DiCicco versus Jermaine Franklin. Forget about it. I won't. End of the day, I'm going to be honest. I won't be doing it. I won't even watch it in the morning when I wake up. I'll just skip straight to the CANELO Crawford. No, I'm going to get up for this fight, to be fair, but you get the point. I'm not going to watch Bochuk versus Adams. I don't know who Adams is, so forget about it. Sorry. I might watch it if I'm up live. I might catch the kind of fight by default, but I'm not watching it. There's nothing there for me. There's nothing there, man. Do you know what I mean? Then you've got this one here, a 6-rounder. So you've got 2 10-rounders, a 6-rounder. Yeah, it says here, I'm just checking, the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford prelims will start at 5:30. So this tells you, I thought maybe, because you know UFC, the UFC does prelims and then main card. So I was thinking maybe this is the prelims before the main card, but that's the UFC's. Listen, the UFC is doing well, yeah. Look at the UFC. I'm pretty sure their cards have about 10 fights. They have like 5 in the prelims and then 5 on the main card. That is the model. You put all the bare bums that no one's ever heard of at the prelims, and people can choose to or to not tune in. You don't need to be having your co-main as a 10-rounder, right? Let me check this actually. I want to make sure I'm not capping. For main card. Let's have a look if they've got a different card. Because I haven't heard nothing either. It's not like I've heard some names. It's not like I've heard someone's on there. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. This is crazy. Oh, maybe I'm wrong, folks. This could be mad. Don't tell me I've wasted time. Please don't do this to me, man. Please don't do this to me. Oh my god, I got it wrong. No, wait a minute. No, the most noteworthy addition was what the hell? What? This past week, Tico Boxing and Netflix confirmed the 3-fight main card. Oh, I've got it wrong. Again, no, I'm just going to stay on the same bars, to be fair. This is the 3-fight main card. I was capping. But let's... Either way, man. Oh, YB, you got it wrong. You know, you didn't read. Oh, YB, you got it wrong because you don't get paid enough to read properly. That's on you, man, end of the day, man. Yeah, that's nothing to do with me, man. Pay me for my time and I'll be reading shit. How about that? You ain't never thought about that one before. But anyway, even if it... Listen, this is the main card. And this is the reason. Again, I'm half involved in the boxing industry as such. I should know if there was a main card. I ain't fucking heard of it. Where is it? In the Battle of Knockout Artists, Christian and Billy. Never watched him fight. He might be good. I don't know. Christian and Billy is fighting against Guatemalan Lester Martinez. Never heard of them. I'm sorry. Never heard of them. Never heard of them, man. Not a day in my life. I haven't. I've heard of it. I thought Billy was a footballer. It's like a footballer's name, ain't it, Christian? But anyway, whatever. He's a boxer, apparently. He's a world champion. What weight is it? I never... Honestly. Defends his interim WBC. So he's... Come on. He might as well be on the prelims. That should be on the prelims for a CANELO Crawford card, honestly. Yeah. I've never heard of neither of them. I'm a semi-casual and I've never heard of neither of them. End of the day. Okay? And then, who else is there on here? Walsh. Dana White-backed Irishman, Callum Walsh, will fight and beat in prospect Fernando Vargas. Never heard of him again. Sorry. Can't lie to you. Maybe Ade probably heard of him. Guess what he heard it? He paid to have heard of people. You understand that one there? He paid to know who fuckers are, yeah? I ain't paid enough, man. I ain't heard of these cats. End of the day, man. When it's all said and done, never heard of them. Never seen them fight, never heard of them. And that is what it is. Yeah? So you get some of these hardcore channels. Oh, I've heard of all of them. It's wicked shit, man. It's called a spade, a spade. If I ain't heard of them, and I'm doing half of this kind of thing, right, I should have heard of these, man. That's the bottom line. I should have had a little bit. I should have seen some of them somewhere. And if you think you're hardcore, oh, I've heard of Christian and Billy. What was the last fight you watched? And where was it on? What date was it? Because I can tell you loads of dates. Well, in theory, at least I could. I could tell you. You get the point, man. Yeah. So what else they got here? Dana White's plugging his own Moody stable. Rounding out the card will be Saudi Arabian prospect Mohamed Akel. I don't know. People, this is as bad as the prelims, to be fair. I'm going to be honest, I'm more interested. This is the God's honest truth. I've heard of Bochuk at the end of the day. Let me have a look at this Billy cat. That's the headline, basically. Yeah? That Irish dude Dana White's trying to plug. Whatever. No one's heard of him, is the truth. Not one person's heard of him. So let's have a look at this Christian. So his name, it rings a bell. I've been hearing it hyped up. But I'll show you. This will show you what I never heard of him before. Because when we look at his resume, there won't even be half a name on there. So why is his turbulency plug-in? Well, he says, oh, I'm doing it because obviously I'm trying to put on for the lesser fighters, which is it's respectable, yeah, but for a fight of the century, I think the money's worth. Or 10 billion they could, but I think no one wants to waste money forever when it's all said and done. That is how it tends to go. DAZN came out red hot. Oh, give Deontay Wilder, the big basketball player, 120 million, and then from then that was the peak, right? It's not been like that since. DAZN was competitive, but it wasn't blowing the socks off people. That's how Frank Warren ended up with everyone down pat. If DAZN was that good, that could never have happened. Albeit Frank Warren in the last year or so has come to DAZN, but that wasn't the case. So why was Frank Warren getting all these fighters before he even came to DAZN? Oops. Yeah. Oh, IB, but Eggy was hanging out the back of a New Zealand brass. Nicholson. Mate, yeah, that's not the point though. If the money was right, it wouldn't matter what Eggy's doing. The fact Eggy's playing away in Australia, that wouldn't matter. If DAZN's money was hitting like that, no one's going to Frank Warren. Christian Mbili. Box Rick. Okay. So I've never heard of this guy. That's the truth. And he sounds like a footballer to me. I swear there's a footballer called Mbili. I don't watch football either, but I'm just saying, I swear to God there's a footballer called Christian Mbili. I heard him talking about it on the radio the other day. Okay. So the best win he's got is Derevyanchenko, who's 15-5, and he went life and death with him. A 10 round. He went points with Derevyanchenko, a man who's 15-5. That's his claim to fame. Christian Mbili's claim to fame is that he fought Derevyanchenko. Okay, let's see what Lester Martinez, his opponent for this great card, this like historic card. Let's see who he's beat. There's not one name on here. His best win is a 3-star cat called Carlos Gongora. You heard of him? Never heard of him. End of the day. So these cats might as well be on the prelims. There is no main card. So I was right. There's a main card, but it's a fake and gay main card. There's no main card. These should all be 4-rounders, honestly. Yeah? Oh my God, that can't be right. No! It says here, Christian Mbili is fighting Lester Martinez in a 10-rounder. I thought they were fighting for interim belt. This is what I'm saying. It's all a bit of a shambles, to be honest. And I'm not knocking these men as individuals. I'm really happy for them, if that makes sense. If I was a bare bum no one's heard of, I'd hope I could get on the Canelo and Crawford card as well, right? I'm not taking it away from them. I'm happy for them in that sense. But at the end of the day, as part of the great unwashed masses, we're not fucking interested in this shit, man. Turkey, we're not. I'm not a hater. You got to throw us a little stinky bone. People, there's not one fight on this undercard that's worth watching. Is the God's honest truth. How can you do that to a historic card? Now, the argument is they're paying Canelo and Crawford too much. Come on, you're telling me... Okay, let's say you're paying them 100 mil each, which I think is ridiculous, to be fair. Yeah, I think that is ridiculous. But it's the only way Canelo would do it. Am I glad we're seeing it? I am. But are you telling me, if you're putting 100 mil each up, what difference would it make to pay Martin Bakole 500 grand, for example, right? Or a Talma. I don't know how much he's making, but he's probably making 3 mil now, any a pop. But that is a bit ridiculous for a prospect. It's gone a bit mad. If he paid Dillian 2.5, he's probably paid a Talma 3, right? He was the A side. So it has gone a bit silly for prospects, knocking out old men with dodgy hips. But if you're putting 200 million out, how much more difference does it make if you pay 210, for example? And 210 would cover, or even 208 million. Okay, we're putting 200 million out for Crawford. How much more is it going to hurt your pocket to put 208 million out? What's that? A 4% increase? That's not going to... You know what I mean? That's not going to be a difference between making and losing money. You're losing truckloads of cash on this anyway. It's my base case. So you might as well lose some more. And deliver on the card. That makes sense. Now his argument will be, well, these fights, I've handpicked them and they'll be entertaining because people are fighting like the Hunger Games for the put on. And that to some extent is what we've been asking for, innit? We have to kind of... It's difficult when you've been sexualized into hype. Oh, I want to see the names. Give me the names. That's the thing. I don't know. I can't watch random people fight. Maybe it's the estrogen. I have to know who they are. I have to feel like, oh, I need to put some money on this. I have to feel engaged. If I don't heard you before, the fight could be wicked, right? It could be really good, but I don't care. That's the point. It could be really good. I don't know. You can watch these YouTube channels called Street Beefs, where random guys fight, and the fighters are entertaining, but it don't turn me on the same way. I don't sit there scrolling through Street Beefs fights. But if I know if Town was fighting Jermaine Franklin, I'm going to be sitting there, sem along, nipples hard. Yeah, or Bochuk versus Ortiz, or Bochuk versus Matazaliev. Even Furman versus Tim Tszyu would do, right? That would do. Slap that on there. Obviously, the contractual things there with the PBC, but you get the point. Yeah? Shakur's just fought, but there must be some names somewhere. I've just named you a few off the rip. But where's Caballero at, man? Where's Caballero at? Why not Caballero and Jermaine Franklin? Since it's not going to set the world alight, but let's get him out, or even Parker versus Franklin, or one of these two names against someone would do, wouldn't it? Caballero versus X. Caballero versus Miller would be banging. These things could have been set up months before, right? Yeah, Andy Ruiz versus Miller. Even Andy Ruiz versus Miller rematch. There's loads of. I can't sit here and name them all. Get Joe Joyce on there. Get Joe Joyce first, Jermaine Franklin. Why is Joe Joyce in the cold? He ain't got no Saudi bread. You can't tell me Joe Joyce is any worse than Dichenko. Never heard of him in the day. Never heard of Dichenko. What is he? You know what I'm saying? Let's get that in there. Let's do some. Throw one stinky bone in there for us. Half-washed, light-skinned, half-baked bone like Joe Joyce. Give us a little bit here. No, come on, man. This ain't acceptable for this level of card at the end of the day. And if I'm someone who's half engaged in this boxing industry, if I'm not interested in watching any of it, that's the truth. Apart from the headline, then no one else is going to be. And for a Netflix card, you'd hope they'd do, like, they've got a 3-fight main card. Canelo and then them other 2 guys, I can't remember their names already. You've only got to pay 4 people. That is like 8 mil, right? 4 mid-level type people, they'll take 2 mil a piece. You've only got, obviously, people, you wouldn't pay 8 mil. I haven't got oil money or Netflix money. And I ain't paying, if I could pay 200 million anyway, I'd just throw another rate on there on top. That's not even a drink. Yeah, if someone tipped you a 4% drink, you'd look at them gone out. That's no good. Yeah, that's no good at all. That's not even a drink, man. Joe Joyce can't even get a drink slot on one of these fights. Come on, people. Come on, man, that's wicked. Why are they doing Joe Joyce wrong for? I've always wondered that. What's Joe done wrong? He got in there, had a go, got his head knocked off. He's slow as molasses, but he come to fight. He didn't duck no one. He called out Usyk. Usyk ducked him. Yeah, at the time. Joe, listen, at the time I was gassed off Joe, yeah, but Joe would have got weighed in by Usyk, to be fair, but still, it's documented. Usyk did duck Joe Joyce. He said, if me and you fight, you'd have to take 90, you'd have to take 3% and I'd take 97. That is what happened, legitimately. Yeah? Anyway, I'm getting out of here, man. I've been waffling too long, but yeah, this is washed. No good. And maybe they know that Canelo Crawford, that is what everyone's going to watch, but it seems... it's just a bit of a doubt. I don't know. There's a couple in there, 1 or 2 good other fights. It's not really. This is the point. It's not really an event. Netflix Riyadh season. It don't feel like Netflix Riyadh season. It feels like this is the traditional pay-per-view model. The traditional Floyd Mayweather pay-per-view model was. It had like a J culture. What I mean by J culture is, Floyd would want all the shekels for himself. So he would put pure bums on his undercard. No one cares about. So he could keep all the shekels to himself. Right? And that's what this is. Canelo and Crawford. Right? And then the bottom feeders have just it feels like they've slapped a moody knockoff undercard. We've seen these for years. One good fight and the rest of the card's trash. That's what this is at the end of the day. Listen, the fighters might be very good. The fights might be very good. Yeah, but it don't get me hard at the end of the day. Anyway, check my Patreon out, man. We got crazy videos on here, man. All the videos you've never seen before. It's all the Anunnaki, 4th dimensional content. So don't play with me, man. Click this bindi and get plugged in. Yeah? No doubt about it. Bosh! Smash the like button as well, obviously.